Hey, what's up YouTube family? It is Sunday afternoon, and because I don't have too much going on today, and it's also about 6 months to the date of my last Blu-ray collection update, I figured I would go through my entire Blu-ray collection with you guys, and also because there are a lot of movies at this point that do not fit on the regular part of the shelf anymore, so I need to go buy a new shelf as well. So I figured it was just a good time to do a Blu-ray collection update. But before I get started, I want you guys to know that a big chunk of these Blu-rays has come from Scylla.com, one of the best online retailers that's out there. So if you guys want some awesome Blu-rays, they have Blu-rays over there starting at only $5. So I know if I ever have a few dollars laying around, I'll go and I'll pick up a few Blu-rays from Scylla.com. So head over there. I'm going to put a link in the description box below. Also, one of these movies in this collection is in my top 4 favorite movies of 2015 this year, and I am going to give away the digital copy code to one of those movies that I still have not given away yet. So if you guys want that digital copy code, stay tuned for the rest of the video, and here we go. Alright guys, so sitting here with all of my Blu-rays, as you can see right here, got 4 different stacks of Blu-ray movies. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of my Blu-ray movies that I have. So this is going to be a little bit longer of a video, but I want to kind of give a sentence or two about each of these movies and also go through all of them. And I have a much bigger collection than the last time I did my Blu-ray collection update. So getting started, here we go. I have Captain America, the First Avenger. This, in my opinion, the first time I watched this movie, I thought it was really boring. This was probably one of my least favorite stand-alone Marvel movies. But the sequel to that, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, is my favorite stand-alone Marvel movie. I absolutely loved this. Even if you take the Marvel out of it, you take the superhero aspect out of this movie, this is still an amazing spy thriller film, and I honestly love this movie. Next, got The Cabin in the Woods. This is one of the more unique films I've ever seen, which is why I actually bought it. Do I think it's very good? No, but it's entertaining. I can watch it. I can watch it multiple times without really getting bored. It's just a very unique, fun film. But yeah. Next, we've got Braveheart right here. This is one of the better movies that has ever been made, in my opinion. Braveheart is a classic. If you guys have not seen Braveheart, Scylla.com I think has their Sapphire Series one, which is the one I have right here, for pretty cheap over there. Definitely, this is one you need to have in your collection. Even if you don't have a Blu-ray collection, this is a movie you need in your home because it is amazing. Next, I have the Bourne trilogy, Bourne Identity, Supremacy, and Ultimatum right here. Absolutely love these movies. I think Matt Damon, this is some of the best performances he has ever had right here in the Bourne trilogy. Just so much fun. This is one of the trilogies that really got me into loving movies. I have always grown up loving movies, but I remember watching these when I was in junior high, and I kind of fell deeper in love with movies with these. I never saw these in theaters or anything, so I was able to go rent them at a store up in our little small town, and I was able to watch these back to back to back on one weekend, and these are just so good. So the Bourne trilogy, have these right here. Next, I have the Batman collection with Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. So you win some, you lose some with this collection because Batman and Batman Returns are pretty decent. I mean, the first Batman's really good in my opinion. Batman Returns is decent. I mean, it's watchable. Batman Forever, not good. Not good at all. Batman and Robin, I would venture to say, is unwatchable. That movie's terrible. So I have that Batman collection. Next up is the Dark Knight trilogy. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises gets a lot of flack for just people saying it's not a very good movie, all these different plot holes and things, but honestly, The Dark Knight Rises This is my favorite one, so you can judge me however you want. I had the most fun watching this movie. I don't know if it's just because of the villain Bane, but I love The Dark Knight Rises. I mean, I can watch that over and over and over again, which I did once I first got this Blu-ray. The Dark Knight, though, I can definitely recognize that The Dark Knight is a better overall film, but The Dark Knight Rises is just one I have a little bit more fun with, and Batman Begins is how you do an origin story. Batman Begins is awesome. So, got that, then have the AVP double feature, so Alien vs. Predators 1 and 2, Alien vs. Predator Requiem. So, are these movies very good? No. Are they fun? I think so. I think they're fun to watch. A lot of these movies you're going to see in here, they might not be the best movies ever made, but they're a lot of fun to watch. And honestly, if I'm going to buy a Blu-ray, I want something that I can watch over and over and over again, not just something that I add to my collection because it's a great movie. So Alien vs. Predator, have a lot of fun with those movies, which, speaking of Alien vs. Predator, I have both of those right here, Alien and Predator. Love both these movies. These are both classics. Alien, the first time I watched this Alien movie scared the crap out of me. I would say Alien is much more of a horror film than a sci-fi film, just because of so much, all the suspense throughout that movie. So, love this one, and classic Arnold Schwarzenegger in this one. So, both of these movies are really good in my opinion. Definitely love both of them. Next we have the Austin Powers trilogy. We've got International Man of Mystery, Spy Who Shagged Me, and Goldmember. I remember growing up when I was in elementary school watching these movies, just had a lot of fun with them. These are some of the best comedies that I've really ever seen. I mean, you can watch these over and over and over again. You're gonna kind of hear me say that a lot throughout this video, but this movie I can watch over and over and over again, and it just never gets old. This is when Mike Myers was at his peak. I really wish I could see another Austin Powers, but I don't want another Austin Powers just to have one. These are good enough. Next we have American Sniper, one of the best movies of 2015. Bradley Cooper's best performance ever, in my opinion. This is just a really feel-good movie. I wouldn't even say it's a feel-good movie. It's just an incredibly inspiring movie. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a feel-good movie. So I take that back. It's an inspiring movie. But American Sniper is a great film. Absolutely love that one. Next we have Jurassic World, one of my favorite movies ever. Why? Because this right here, Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time. I have seen Jurassic Park an unhealthy amount of times. No joke. I don't even want to tell you how many times I think I've seen it because it's embarrassing. But I've seen the original Jurassic Park movie so many times. I love the sequels. Not Jurassic Park 3 as much because they killed my favorite character, which was the T-Rex. Spoiler alert, but if you haven't seen Jurassic Park 3 yet, that's on you. But yeah, I love these movies, and I thought that Jurassic World did these original ones justice. Maybe not 2 and 3 so much, but I definitely think it did that first movie justice. It went back to the park, you were able to see it up and running. So I really do love Jurassic World. I've seen it so many times since I bought the Blu-ray a couple weeks ago, just because it's so much fun. Chris Pratt's awesome in it. The CGI is great in it. The dinosaurs don't look awful, so that was a really nice perk as well. But Jurassic World, I love Jurassic World. Next, we have the Star Wars complete saga right here. This is probably the most valuable collection of Blu-rays that I own, simply just because of the amazing content that's in here. But Star Wars goes without saying. I don't need to tell you guys my thoughts on Star Wars because I've done so many different videos where I just kind of talk about Star Wars, which I did just do a video last week about the new Star Wars International trailer. If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. Next, I have the Terminator Anthology, so Terminator 1, 2, and 3, and then Terminator Salvation. I have not bought Terminator Genesis yet. I'm still kind of wrestling over whether or not I want to buy it. I love the original Terminator movies, Terminator 1. Terminator 2 is my third favorite movie of all time. I do have a ranking of my favorite movies of all time, which I could maybe do a video on later in the future, but Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time. Absolutely love it. And Terminator Genesis doesn't do it a whole lot of justice, doesn't do the whole kind of like Terminator name a lot of justice, so I'm not sure if I really want to get it. But next movie, we've got Aladdin right here. Probably my favorite Disney movie. That and Lion King are like 1 and 2, but Aladdin is one that I've probably seen a lot more than Lion King. I really do love that movie. But now we're going to start getting into the rest of my Blu-rays. So I still have 3 piles to go. I want to get through these without this movie, or without this video lasting forever. We're already at 9 minutes, but here we go. So we've got Interstellar, came out last year, loved it, a lot of fun. Another Christopher Nolan movie right here, Inception. I thought Inception was a lot better than Interstellar, even though I did love Interstellar. Interstellar is another movie that kind of gets a bad reputation, but I really did enjoy it. But Inception is one that you definitely have to see. If you have not seen it yet, you're definitely going to be in for a fun time. Next we have Hunger Games 1 and Hunger Games 2 Catching Fire. I do not have Mockingjay Part 1 yet, just because I did not like that movie so much. But Hunger Games 1 and Hunger Games 2 I thought were really good, a lot of fun. I really did like Jennifer Lawrence's Katniss. I read the books growing up, so I kind of knew what I was getting when I was going into the movies, and I thought this is one of the best adaptations from book to film that I've ever seen. So I really did like the Hunger Games. Next we have one of the most fun Marvel movies ever made, Guardians of the Galaxy. Love Guardians of the Galaxy. This was kind of Chris Pratt's introduction into film stardom, and I think he did a great job. Next we have The Grey, which every time I watch this I get a little bit colder. I definitely do recommend watching The Grey, but it's another film. It's not a whole lot of fun. My camera says it's doing something, so I don't know if I'm almost out of footage or what, but we're going to keep rolling. Next we have Godzilla, another good movie that I saw in 2014. It does get slow at times. You do feel the runtime at other times, but the end battle scene is worth it. Next we have Gladiator. Gladiator is a lot like Braveheart in my opinion. Not in terms of storyline or anything, but in terms of you needing this movie in your collection. One of the classics. Next we have Fury. Fury is the film from, I think it came out last year in 2014, with Brad Pitt. We've got Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf, Michael Pena, Shane from The Walking Dead. That's one of the, I love that movie. I mean, I don't want to say it's one of the best movies because I keep saying this is one of the best movies, that's one of the best movies. But Fury, I really did enjoy Fury. I've seen it a couple times since having it on Blu-ray. Fight Club is indeed one of my favorite movies of all time. I absolutely love this movie. One of the best twists in film history in my opinion. If you have not seen Fight Club yet, definitely add it to your collection. Next we're going to knock out a big chunk right here with the Fast and Furious collection. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Furious 7, which just came out this year. A very fun franchise post Fast and Furious. So Fast 5, 6, and 7 were a lot of fun. I definitely recommend checking those out. The first 4, they're just kind of there. But next we have the first Expendables movie, which I think is the only one that really does all of these guys justice because they really went for it. They weren't just playing spoofs of themselves. They were actually playing characters in this movie, and I really did enjoy it. They went rated R, so they were really able to kind of delve into the violence and kind of get into a much more intriguing story. So I only have the first Expendables. I might add Expendables 2 and 3 to my collection later, but right now all I have is the first one. Next we have Elf, my favorite Will Ferrell movie, my favorite Christmas movie. Well, this and The Grinch are my 2 favorite Christmas movies, but Elf is a classic, another one you need to have in your house, in your home, in your collection. Next we have Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. I don't even know all the different names for this movie, but it was one of the most surprisingly good movies I have seen in the past 2 years. I went into this movie not a big fan of Tom Cruise, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really like the guy, but this movie was awesome. One of the best action movies I saw in 2014. One of the most surprisingly good movies I've seen in theaters ever. If you have not seen Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat, whatever you want to call it, go see it. Next we have How to Train Your Dragon 1 and How to Train Your Dragon 2. I think How to Train Your Dragon 2 is one of the most amazingly put together animated films ever. I absolutely love How to Train Your Dragon 2. I think it is just about the perfect animated film. It's really good. And I don't even want to say it's the perfect animated film. It's just an amazing film in general. It has its highs, it has its lows. Just a great movie. And How to Train Your Dragon, I didn't have a lot of expectations going into it, but it was a lot of fun. It was a really good animated movie. Next we have The Departed, a classic with an amazing cast. It's got Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Mark Wahlberg. I love Mark Wahlberg, so you know I'm gonna love The Departed. But just a really good movie with a really solid story. Next we've got Despicable Me 2. In my opinion, the best Despicable Me movie that has been made, even though I love Despicable Me 1. I don't have that on Blu-ray. I have it on DVD, but I have not made that update yet. Next, I have Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. You might be asking, where are the first 6 movies? I have all of those on DVD, but I have not found a place that is selling 1 through 6 at a reasonable enough price, or just by themselves. A lot of places only sell 1 through 6 in a collection with 7 and 8, but I already have 7 and 8. I don't need another copy of it, so I'm just trying to find the best time, the best price for 1 through 6. Next pile, we're getting into Point Break, one of the most fun movies ever. Point Break did fun movies before fun movies existed. So Point Break is an awesome movie that I definitely recommend you guys checking out. Pain and Gain, probably one of the more disappointing movies I've ever seen, but it was directed by Michael Bay, so you get what you're kind of, you kind of expected going in, even though Mark Wahlberg, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Anthony Mackie. I thought the movie was going to be a lot more fun than it was, rather than its heavy story that it laid on us. But next we've got Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler, this movie has you on the edge of your seat the entire time. Love it. Jake Gyllenhaal is great in Nightcrawler. Definitely recommend it. Next we've got Mad Max. We have The Road Warrior, and we have Beyond Thunderdome with Fury Road as well. This franchise right here does not waste any time getting in action. I mean, right off the bat, these first 3 movies with Mel Gibson, these are action-packed, and then this movie, Mad Max Fury Road, is in my top 3 movies of 2015, simply because of how much action it has. Some of the most action-packed movies I have ever seen. Then we have the Lord of the Rings trilogy right here on Blu-ray. Probably right up there with Star Wars as some of my favorite movie franchises of all time. Just an amazing story. Another, like Hunger Games, another great adaptation from book to film. I thought these were really good as well. Next, we have Lone Survivor, a movie that gets kind of forgotten. It came out a couple of years ago in 2014, I believe. I thought it was really good, but again, it's just a film that once you see it, you kind of forget about it. Nothing really sticks out, but I really did enjoy it the first time. Next, we have Kingsman, which is that movie that I was talking about that is in my top 4 favorite movies of 2015. And I do have the digital copy code to Kingsman still, so I'm going to give this to you guys right now. Kingsman: The Secret Service on digital HD. So this is for you guys. Hopefully you get it. If you do, comment down below. Let me know that you got it. And enjoy. So there we go. I think that's focused. So there we go. That is the digital copy code to Kingsman, which is now gone forever. But yeah, Kingsman, love it. I honestly enjoyed Kingsman more than Spectre, which just came out last weekend. So if I was to compare spy movies, I thought Kingsman was just about my favorite spy movie ever. Next we have Kick-Ass 1 and Kick-Ass 2. Just some fun comic book movies. I mean, I don't really know what to say. Nick Cage as Big Daddy was awesome in the first one. I thought, what's his name again? Aaron Johnson as Kick-Ass. I thought he was great in that movie. And then the girl, what's her name? Chloe Grace Moretz as Hit Girl. She's awesome. She is awesome. I loved her in Kick-Ass 1 and 2. Next we've got John Wick. John Wick is another movie that is like Edge of Tomorrow. This movie took me completely off guard. We've got Keanu Reeves here playing a hitman. I did not think this movie was going to be very good whatsoever, but you know, because honestly I wasn't a big fan of The Matrix, so going in, seeing John Wick, I thought Keanu Reeves was just going to kind of play the same role again, and I wasn't real excited, but this movie punched me in the face with action, and I loved it. Next, we have Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. Iron Man 1's the only respectable one, in my opinion. Iron Man 2 is not very good, and Iron Man 3, I think, is the worst Marvel movie that they've made so far. But I really do like Iron Man 1, and these came in like a big pack at Walmart for, I think, like 20 bucks or something. So I just got all of those together. Next we have Indiana Jones 1, 2, and 3. Another collection right here. I don't have the fourth one because I don't think that one actually exists. I've just kind of blocked it out of my mind. But these are some of just... Alright guys, so sorry about that. My camera was running out of memory. That was the little blinking thing on there. But back to Indiana Jones. I really do enjoy this trilogy. I actually did not get introduced to this trilogy until my freshman year of college. I don't know how I missed out on it growing up, but this is just a lot of fun. I definitely recommend seeing it if you have not. Then next we have the Daniel Craig James Bond trilogy, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, and then Skyfall. I honestly love Daniel Craig as James Bond. I think he's the best James Bond in my opinion, but that's because he's really the only James Bond I've been familiar with. I've seen some of the older James Bond movies, but I'm just not a big fan of them. I don't know if it's just because I've kind of grown up in this newer generation where I don't necessarily like that older classical feel, but I really do enjoy James Bond as a more action-packed James Bond lead. Next we have X-Men Days of Future Past. I thought this was the best X-Men movie ever made. The way they kind of combined the older cast with the newer cast I thought was really great. So I had a lot of fun with this movie. I'm really excited for X-Men Apocalypse, which is the next one coming out. Next we have The Wolverine. This is kind of like the sequel, whatever, to the first Wolverine movie, which I thought was awful, X-Men Origins. I thought that movie was just not very good, but The Wolverine, which was set in like Japan or China or whatever, Japan, yeah, it was set in Japan, I thought was a lot of fun, and I did enjoy it. I know it wasn't widely received, but I did enjoy it. Warrior is probably in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Tom Hardy, Joel Edgerton, their chemistry in this movie as brothers was fantastic. I thought the story in this movie was amazing, and plus MMA is my favorite sport, so I kind of got that bias as well. But next we have all 4 Transformers movies right here. We got the first 3 with Shia LaBeouf, and then we have the newest one, Transformers Age of Extinction, because this movie is awful. This is the worst movie I have ever seen in theaters. And not because it's like the worst movie I've ever seen, but it was the most unpleasant experience I've ever had in the movies, in the theaters, because for 2.5 hours you are stuck in this sloppy, messed up, disappointing movie. So I did not like that one. But honestly, even though 2 and 3 get a bad reputation, I really did enjoy the second Transformers. Maybe not the third one as much, but I definitely did enjoy the second one. And I think it goes without saying that the first Transformers is a good movie, even though the rest of them kind of do fall off. Sticking with Michael Bay, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was a pleasant surprise. I saw Michael Bay's name on that, I saw Megan Fox in it, and I instantly thought, this movie's going to be trash. And you know what? It wasn't. It was actually pretty good. But then we have Ted, which is another surprisingly good movie. I wasn't really sure going into it what I was going to get, but a talking bear, Mark Wahlberg, I was entertained. So I don't have Ted 2 yet. I'm definitely planning on adding that to my collection because I did enjoy Ted 2 a little bit more than the first one, even though I love the first one. And then we have J.J. Abrams' Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness. I'm not a Star Trek fan by any stretch of I'm not a Star Trek fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I did enjoy these movies. I enjoyed the way J.J. Abrams directed these movies. I enjoyed the way he made them look, and he actually made the story of Star Trek, of Captain Kirk, he actually made them entertaining, which was important to me because I'm not an original fan with that built-in knowledge of the franchise. Next we have Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, and then both The Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm going to put The Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2 down because they're not good. And then I'm also going to put this one down. I'd like to just chuck it over there in the trash can, but I still respect it for being Spider-Man. Next, the Spider-Man 2 though, this is probably my second or third favorite superhero movie ever. I thought Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker in this movie was a great fit. I thought everything about this movie just really was entertaining. I've seen it multiple times and I love it. If you're asking why I don't have the first Spider-Man movie, alright guys, so again, I apologize. My camera decided to run out of memory again. I guess I did not delete as much footage as I thought off of my memory card. But we're almost done, so we're getting into the home stretch now. We've just got this chunk of movies left. So what we're going to do, we're going to fly through these real quick. We've got Space Jam right here, a childhood favorite of mine. We have Tregg, which is Mike Myers at his best. And then Eddie Murphy as Donkey. Just great. I thought that, I don't want to slow this video down anymore, but Shrek is one of those that I saw a ton as a child, and it just always kind of takes me back to that time, and I just love it. Next we have The Sandlot right here, another childhood favorite. Then we have Pulp Fiction, just a great movie right here. Again, another one that you need to add to your collection if you have not already. We have the classic Planet of the Apes, one of my favorite movies of all time. I have seen this so many times, and this is what really got me into loving the Planet of the Apes franchise, which we've got right here. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and then Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is my second favorite movie I've ever seen. I thought it was amazing. Just the way the CGI kind of rolled with the practical effects. Everything just was great in my opinion. I thought Andy Serkis as Caesar was believable as a main character. And honestly, you had CGI'd apes as your leads in this movie, and you never even really noticed it that they were apes. You just kind of rolled with it knowing that they were the main characters. Next we have 2015's Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal. Kind of a bummer movie, but I still do enjoy it and I think it's pretty good. Then we have a triple feature right here. We have V for Vendetta, Watchmen, and Constantine. I'm not a big fan of Constantine. Watchmen is pretty good. I do enjoy it. I think it's kind of another forgotten comic book movie. And then V for Vendetta, we are 3 days past November 5th at this point. I try to watch this movie every November 5th. If you have seen V for Vendetta, you know why. Then we have 300 right here. Just an absolute classic movie that makes me want to kick down all of these Blu-ray stacks that I have right now. And then we have 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street to round it out. This was kind of Channing Tatum's rise into actually being a good actor. Before these movies, he had just kind of been that guy that's in romantic kind of whatever the dance movies he was in. But with these, he's actually a respectable actor at this point. And he's one of my favorite actors now because I did love those movies. But this is my entire Blu-ray collection. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Hit that red subscribe button if you had not already. I would really appreciate it. www.treggfisher.com for online personal training and the new Tregg Fisher Fitness shirt. So head over there, pick up a shirt. Check out my training plans. I would love to help you get into the best shape of your life. Other than that though, I am about to put all of these Blu-rays in my new shelf that I pick up tonight. Thanks again so much for watching guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.